Hi, Councilmember Kimberly.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey,
Good
morning.
morning.
It is so good to see all of my family. Welcome to the 22nd Annual Central Texas African American Family Support Conference. My name is Kimberly Holliday, motivational speaker, mental health advocate, youth peer support specialist, and the first elected Black woman to the Pflugerville City Council. Whew, thank you so much. Known to you most as Lady Joy.
And I'm Elliot Nyblack, peer mentor, founder of Reality by Design Consulting, teacher, and the Chief Education and Equity Officer at the D. Wood Foundation. Kimberly and I are your conference MCs, and we are here this morning with DJ Helayella, Associate Commissioner Trina Ida, Marcella Sims, David Evans, Deneen Robinson, and the Conference Planning Committee members to kick things off right. This opening ceremony is in honor of Stephanie June Bryan, a dearly departed committee member who dedicated her life to promoting mental health. Later in the ceremony, we shall honor her legacy and memory.
We're excited to be here with all of you online for the longest running conference of its kind, focused on mental health, substance use disorders, and intellectual and developmental disabilities in the African American community.
Last year, we learned what it was like to connect, learn, and heal together virtually. And so we're excited to do it again this year. We want to start by saying that we are here to help you with any issues you may have. For help navigating Whova, go to the main navigation menu on the left of your screen if you're using a computer. If you've downloaded the mobile app on your phone or tablet, you can use your navigational buttons on the bottom of your screen. Under Resources, you will see an FAQ as well as Whova guides. Scrolling through both of those will likely answer your questions. If you need more help or technical support, go to the conference website, CTAAFSC.com, and click on the chat box. A staff member is there ready and waiting to help.
Speaking of chatting, we're looking to all of you to help make this conference as interactive as possible. One way to do this is to use your chat function in Whova. We're excited to see all of your comments and your reactions.
This conference would not be possible without the generous support of our sponsors. A very warm and grateful shout out to St. David's Foundation, Ascension, Methodist Health Ministries, United Way of Greater Austin, Sendero Health Plans, NAMI Central Texas, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Austin Alumni Chapter, the Texas Council for Developmental Disabilities, the University of Texas at Austin, Addiction Research Institute, Dell Medical School, UT Austin, the Wood Group, and Austin ISD. We are so grateful for this conference and this community that comes together every year. Let's reflect on this blessing and this conference. And so to do so, we go to Reverend Deneen Robinson, reproductive justice strategist, for a few words of prayer.
You are able, and as your faith affords you, you may bow your head or just get in a position where you're actually able to communicate with the divine. Holy Divine One, we are gathered in this moment to express our gratitude. And we are grateful for so many things. We are grateful for the journey we took to get here. We did not travel by car, train, bus, nor did we leave our homes, but we did have to journey through some things to arrive here safely. Many of us have journeyed through COVID, whether it was us that got infected or someone that we love and care for. And yet we made it here safely. We have journeyed through family challenges, loss, and still made it up in our minds to gather here. We express our gratitude by simply saying thank you. Thank you first for keeping us. Thank you for keeping our physical and mental health enough for us to be present right now. And we want to ask you to help us. Help us to see you in each other. Help us to see each other as God manifested so that we can be open to hear and glean from each other as you intended. And we are asking you to guide us. Guide us through this experience of discussing how folk can respond to mental health concerns as people of faith. Guide us through the journey of seeing you even in our challenges. Guide us to the knowing that everything is a teacher. Be with us. In deep gratitude, I thank you on behalf of all present, ancestors watching, and spiritual guides leading and protecting us. In the name of all that is, we say Ashe and Amen.
Hallelujah. I don't know about y'all, but I had to actually mute myself because my praise is rather loud. Hallelujah. And thank you so much, Reverend Robinson, for that amazing prayer. We are so grateful.
Thank you so much. Feeling emboldened inside now to just keep this good word going.
Awesome. You know, for the past 21 years of this conference, we've stood together and raised our voices in unity to sing the Black National Anthem. This year is no different. I invite you to stand up wherever you are, even in the virtual world. Sing out with us, harmonize. I encourage you just to do you as we lift every voice and sing. I will let you know we're going to mute ourselves, so you are welcome to belt out and sing the song as loud as you like.
We would not be here today without the tremendous efforts of our conference planning committee. The committee chair's ongoing commitment and dedication to this conference is an incredible blessing. That's you, Ms. Shannon Carr.
Well, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming. I'm so excited that all this is happening. Thank you, Elliot, and thank you everyone out there for joining us. I am honored to welcome you here today. It's been a challenging 2 years, but I believe we are stronger together, and these next 2 days will build on that belief. We are going to celebrate the Black community while learning, healing, connecting with each other, and growing together. And we will explore solutions to the physical and mental health issues, substance use disorders, and intellectual or developmental disabilities we face. This conference is also an opportunity to reduce stigma surrounding these issues while increasing access to the care we need. It's now more important than ever that we come together to do our part to promote the health and wellness of our community. So I hope this conference gives you knowledge and tools that will be either personally or professionally meaningful. I also hope that we create real and lasting changes these next few days. This conference is for you, you guys. I hope you enjoy every minute of it. And now I will give the floor back to Kimberly and Elliot. Y'all have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much, Ms. Shannon Carr. It is always an honor and a pleasure to see you, and we thank you for your years of dedicated service to this conference.
We need leaders like yourself, Ms. Shannon Carr, and thank you for being the person that you are. There are 2 women putting their heart and souls into improving the lives of Austinites, and we are so proud to have them with us for this conference. First, we're excited to welcome Austin Public Health's new medical director and health authority, Dr. Desmar Walks.
I remember at the beginning of this pandemic feeling so helpless as I talked to my father on the phone. He's 85, he lives alone, and he sounded so lonely. I'm Dr. Desmar Walks, the medical director for Austin Public Health and health authority for Austin-Travis County. COVID has changed life as we know it for so many people. A crippling pandemic that forced us to socially distance ourselves in order to stay safe. No one knew then that those steps would lead to unprecedented changes in our mental health. Children were homeschooled and parents became teachers. Those that we love and could once reach out and touch for comfort were now sheltered behind closed doors, hoping to keep the coronavirus at bay. The stress of our new normal caused an increase in drug and alcohol use. Child and domestic partner abuse saw a rise as well. We know that our community has found these topics to be taboo, and we find it hard to talk about it openly. But by coming together, seeking help, when we need it, we can reduce the stigma that often surrounds mental health. I urge everyone to find a balance. Don't let this pandemic keep you from exercising, eating well, and getting enough sleep. And when you need it, seek the help that you need to help with any mental health challenges and that the stress of this pandemic has given you. Together, we can heal.
We also welcome Ms. Marcelia Sims, whose commitment to homeless women springs from her own struggles with homelessness and substance use disorder. She is an absolute inspiration.
Good morning, my name is Marcella Sims. I would like to start by thanking the amazing members and board of the Central Texas African American Support Conference. I commend you on a job well done, not just for this year, but for all the years of labor and love that has been poured into individuals as well as this community. I'm so excited and grateful to share with you today. I have so much to be grateful for. I have an amazing family, an amazing second career. I have wonderful friends. I'm even grateful for my enemies today. But I am so, so blessed. I'm not only blessed to have these people in my life, but I'm so grateful to be present and active in their lives. I am grateful just for life. I'm grateful and for all things. And I still find it hard to believe that God has granted me new life with new opportunities daily to make a difference, not only in my life, but also someone else's life. And this has all happened through hard work and painful self-examination. I have found that living life on life's terms can happen, but it takes honest hard work every day. I know that the power of God, that power that is greater than myself, has been the main force in the transformation that has taken place in my life. So when I was asked to share, I thought, why would anybody want to hear my story? It's not that unusual that anyone needs to hear it, but I was quickly reminded that many people are inspired and find hope by the words of our testimony. So here we go. I was born and raised here in Austin, Texas, and I was reared in the Booker T. Washington projects for a portion of my childhood. Coming up, I never imagined my story would include mental illness, sexual abuse, physical abuse, drug abuse, self-inflicted abuse, and incarceration. I don't think anybody imagines their life that way, right? However, in hindsight, the writing was on the wall. You see, I was surrounded by every one of those abusive behaviors as a child. Physical abuse was common to see and hear in the projects on a daily basis. You see, you would hear fights up and down the streets all the time. But I witnessed firsthand abuse. I lived in a home where my dad abused my mom time and time again. I saw him abuse her and apologize not only to her, but to us that it would never happen again, only to receive the apology over and over again. While working the steps of NA, I found out that all those years I had spoken of this abuse as my mother's abuse. But the truth was every one of us in that house was abused. You know, hurt people is a saying, and it is really, really true. When my mom was abused, she did her best to shield us from it, but every now and then we would get the brunt of her abuse. You see, mental illness of my parents doing the same thing, expecting the different result and expecting us to be healthy from that mental illness shifted down to us. The behavior of doing the same thing and expecting different result became a way of life. My parents' marriage ended when I was about 9 years old, and when my dad left, a part of my heart left. And I felt abandoned and dealt with a lot of abandonment issues, although not recognizing it at the time. It was years later when I recognized that I had that issue. While my mother worked hard to ground us in love, she felt it was her spiritual duty to also ground us in faith. So it was required, not suggested. I know a lot of you guys know that. You didn't have a choice. That we attended church every time the doors were open. I did not have a problem with that because it was a way out for a little while. It was a way to get away from the projects from a little while, just a way to get away from all the stuff that I saw on a daily basis. The abuse that I saw my mother bear was just as painful as the abuse I suffered at the hands of an adult male that used my 4-year-old body to fulfill his fantasies for years. You know, it all started with bring me something. And as I was summoned to bring something, it began to be bring me something and only you come. Don't you bring anybody else. And that went on. A little girl afraid to say anything because he always showed me this gun. And it seemed like the summons to come came more and more. And I really felt that they would never end. While he never penetrated me sexually, the penetration that he did to me emotionally and the weight of that burden played out in my life in so many ways. One of the things I did, I became a tomboy. I wanted to act tough. I didn't want to be looked at as pretty. I didn't want to be looked down on as she could be my girlfriend. I didn't want to be attractive at all. So I played the tomboy role for a long time. As I matured and I grew out of the tomboy stage and finally got the strength to tell this predator that if he touched me again, I would be willing to die, but I would die trying to take him out with me. And it must have been something in the tremble of my voice or in the fire in my eyes that let him know that I was very serious. So the sexual abuse never happened again, but the damage had been done. I began to act out. I felt unprotected. I felt unloved. I felt unclean. And so there were so many issues that were going on inside of me that I didn't know how to release. I grew up in the rug era, and some of you all may know this rug era, you know, the era where everything was swept under the rug. This family secret era where what happens in this house stays in this house. You don't tell anybody's business. So I chose to deal with it my way. And I began to become promiscuous at the age of 16. At the age of 18, I married a man, just like my dad. And I found myself back in that insane cycle of apologies and the promises to never be hit again, just like my mom. I felt trapped. The abuse became so painful that I began to get high. You know, those gateway drugs, weed mixed with a little alcohol. Before I knew it, I added a few pills. I just wanted to be numb. I was a functioning addict. I went to work, took my kids to school, cooked dinner. When I thought he was coming home, I would begin to start medicating. I use the word functioning. I'm not sure that there is such a thing as a functioning addict because there's always something unproductive going on in your life. Well, anyway, the drugs began to take more and more of my income. And so to supplement my income, I began to shoplift and sell the goods to support my habit while ignoring rent, lights, and other responsibilities. I stopped a lot of times in life and said, how did I get here? How did I get here? I'm living the same insane nightmare that my mom lived, having to fight every day. I am doing the same thing that I've seen my brothers who are all addicts do. And I said that I would never let this happen to me. How did I get here? I realized that if you don't tend to your pain will be the driver in your life. Being a full-time shoplifter now cost me. And eventually I went to jail again and again, only to end up in prison on a 2-year sentence. I got out, went back into the same lifestyle, only to end up with a 4-year sentence. I got out, went back to the same lifestyle, and ended up on a 10-year sentence. This time while I was incarcerated, I received divorce papers along with custody of my children. The same abuser was going to get custody of our children. No, my children. So I thought, to be honest, why wouldn't he? I had made a mess of my life, a life that continued to spin out of control. Well, instead of it being a turning point, I told myself, what the heck? I have no reason to stay clean and sober. I've lost my kids. I've got, a record. I have no reason to stay clean. I want to say this just in case there's a young woman out there that finds herself in this place. Never give up. Never, ever give up on restoring your relationship with your children. Get the help, seek counseling, and work hard. Your relationship can be restored. So after doing a portion of this 10-year sentence, I'm out again. And I pick up 7 more cases on a 10-year parole. Now I'm running, ducking, dodging, and looking back. Afraid of getting caught, but still sick enough to stay in the game, the hustle game. Sounds insane, right? It really was. When I was finally caught, I was sitting in a stolen truck and the police surrounded me with guns, told me to exit the vehicle. And instead, I took a big hit of the dope and threw the pipe over in the backseat, exhaled, and began to pray. I asked God to help me to fully surrender. I was tired of the pain that now had became not someone else's abuse, but I was self-inflicting this abuse upon myself. While incarcerated this last time, I made a sincere commitment to Jesus Christ, who is my higher power. I turned my will and my life over to his care, and I'm still turning over my will and my life on a daily basis. I don't have time to tell you how God placed so many people in my way along the way that helped me, that encouraged me, that told me that I could and that I would get out. I ended up getting out on a 10-year probation on top of a 10-year parole, all God. Once I was out, I had to complete a 6-month rehab program. I did that, but I knew within my own heart that I needed more. So I sought counseling while working the steps of NA. And it was there that I realized that I had some mental illness along with my addiction. I believe that we look at mental illness to look a certain way. As we all have heard, insanity is doing the same thing, but expecting different results. However, insanity can also mean extreme foolishness or irrationality or a state of mental illness, right? An example of insanity is jumping out of a plane without a parachute and expecting to live. I was tired of hitting the ground and dying. I was ready to live. While I have a relationship with Jesus Christ, I also believe strongly in counseling, because it was in my sessions that I was able to release those hurts. And it was in those sessions that I understood I was not responsible for what happened between my parents. It was in those sessions that I learned that the 4-year-old girl was not responsible for the sexual abuse. It was in those sessions that I learned that I was not responsible for an abusing spouse. In those sessions, I took responsibility for my choices and was able to make amends without feeling like I had to go back and fix what I had broken. I learned that I was able to give what I had in the day, and if I gave it with the right intentions, everything would work out. So counseling also gave me the ability to share openly and honestly with my children, who I have a beautiful relationship with now. I know today that it's never too late to live. So I wanted to give back. So after some clean time, I hit the streets in 2000 and started giving out hygiene packages, praying with those who are still in the struggle, serving lunches and delivering blankets. Anything that I saw that I could do, I wanted to do it, because in the walls of Narcotics Anonymous, we understand that the only way we can keep what we have is by giving it away. I continue to look for ways to help others through my new nonprofit called The Least of These, ATX. I also partnered with my sister friend through her nonprofit organization, Ex-Felons Can. It is our desire to assist those coming out of addictions, incarceration, and homelessness with driver's license, social security cards, job application processing, how to interview. Because I know today that the only way I can keep what I have is by giving it away. So I'm grateful living today, and I'm high on life. I pray today that someone has been encouraged. Thank you again for letting me share.
Thank you, Dr. Waltz and Ms. Sims. Your words beyond inspirational. And so we now like to welcome grassroots leader, professor, visual and performance artists, Ms. Kimene Blake Fallon, for some spoken word.
To the ancestors who crossed the Atlantic as kings before your children crossed it in chains, built empires and civilizations in Africa before the motherland carried that name. From expert archers of the Nubian Empire to Sundiata Keita, Lion King of Mali, from the University of Timbuktu to the artists of Benin, from Songhai to Ghana to you, who've given the world your wisdom, architecture, science, medicine, philosophy, to the rich soil where you bled greatness, I honor you. To the ancestors who crossed the Atlantic in chains, watered and salted foreign soil with sweat, to those whose thankless toil built the West's current wealth, to you whose labor and pain gave birth to generations, struggle and perseverance flowing bright red blood, to those who built railroads to freedom out of hope, grit, risk, and rebellion, when all that throbbing dignity could no longer be contained in shackles 3/5 the weight of your human heart. To those who did not run, because survival tied you to the soil, when survival was the only self-actualization bondage lets you achieve, to those buried below our feet, finally granted rest, I honor you. To the ancestors, the parents and grandparents of this generation who've crossed the threshold, to those who marched, those who walked through doorways they said you were not good enough to enter, sat at counters so we could sit in classrooms, to those who endured fire hoses and fierce dogs, strange fruit and burning crosses on front lawns, to those who cried, sang, and shouted words of courage we still hear in the wind when it storms, I honor you. To those ancestors who passed last night, last week, last month, last year, to those whose voices still echo in our minds and whose scent is still on your pillows, to those whose hugs we still remember and whose kiss we still expect each time we walk in the door, those whose breath we still feel on our cheeks and whose laughter we still hear in our dreams. I honor you. I honor you in the kink of my hair and the oil in my skin, with the iron in my spine and the blood in my veins, by the words of my tongue and the use of my days, the education I seek and the wisdom I praise, ancestors, from whom I inherited hair like wool and feet the color of bronze. Guide my steps, that I may walk sturdily on paths you carved out for me, and honor, truly honor, your legacy.
Thank you, Kalene. Your name is actually poetry in itself. Thank you for the spoken word today.
Audience, thank you so much for your words. Just in the chat box alone, every single one we value and just have pride in having you being a piece of this.
Awesome. I want to encourage each of you to keep those comments coming in the chat box. Ellie and I will be sharing those throughout the conference. Again, thank you for being here and for using the chat function.
Remember, we told you this ceremony is in honor of our dear friend, Stephanie June Bryant. This very special member of our conference planning committee is missing this year. She wasn't only a fierce advocate for the Black community and serving on the planning committee for over 10 years, she has been a piece of this since its inception. And so it hardens and saddens my heart that saying she passed away in 2021. We have her close friend and colleague, Vicki Coffey, Director of Programs at the Hogg Foundation for Mental Health at the University of Texas at Austin, here with us for a special presentation in honor of Stephanie.
Most definitely, Stephanie Bryant was a very special person. She was a beloved senior program officer and consumer and family liaison at the Hogg Foundation, a very unique position, I might add, at the foundation. And she really exemplified that position so well over the 12 years that we had the honor of working with her. And just as important, Stephanie was such a huge impact across the entire nation for over 20 years. She fought for equitable services, equitable supports, and systems change. Yep, she was all about transformation. But one of the things that really was close to her heart was this very conference, the Central Texas African American Family Support Conference. Stephanie was very involved. She loved it. She was always talking about it. She was thinking about how to make it better, how to make change, how to include people. She brought so much insight. Transparency and humor were in her work. And for those of you that knew her, you knew that she had a wicked sense of humor. And she kept me on my toes and kept everyone else around her on her toes as well. It was just so, so beautiful, the way that she worked with others and how she touched everyone so dearly. And so we miss her. And so you can imagine how much we really do miss her. Thank you.
You might recognize Stephanie from the beautiful photos that are being shared. And a lot of you knew her personally. And if you not, you've probably seen her around. And while she's not here with us today in person, she is here in spirit. And that spirit will be remembered for being vibrant. As mentioned before, Stephanie was a true mental health champion, and she spent her career making sure that her peeps, she loved that term, her peeps, children, youth, and family members received quality, equitable resources and supports. Stephanie started her formal education at Southwest Texas State University on a music scholarship. But when life got in the way, Stephanie had to stop her formal education to care for loved ones who were experiencing mental health challenges. And at the same time, she worked really hard on her own wellness and recovery. So today I'm really, really sad. And at the same time, I'm truly honored to announce to you the recipients of the first Stephanie June Bryant Bold Spirit of Achievement Scholarship Award winners. This year's $5,000 scholarships are being given to 2 individuals who live with mental health challenges, so they're working to maintain their own wellness, And at the same time, they're working really hard to support their peers in Central Texas and beyond. So this is going to get a little weird because the people that we selected, you'll see them in the conference lineup this year because they're both actively involved in the conference. But like Stephanie said, you don't need to just talk the talk, you have to walk the walk. And the two people that were selected are people who are actively engaged in their community as well as the conference. So this year's first recipient is Kanisha K.J. Johnson. Our second recipient is Elliot Nyblack. You've seen Elliot, and congratulations to both of you on such well-deserved awards. And also on behalf of your community, thank you.
Y'all, let's take a few minutes to warm up our brains and bodies for today's session. Get ready for a 10-minute journey of energy, emotional, and cognitive reset. You may recognize her from last year's conference. I promise she will help you release whatever stress, anxiety, grief you may be feeling this morning. Let's hand it over to Ms. Kay Hutchison, coming to us from her Austin studio. Thank you for being here, Kay.
Welcome. I'm Kay Hutchinson of Ike Healing, and I'm so happy to kick you off to an energetic start for the Central Texas African American Family Support Conference this year. Whether you are seated or standing up, let's get your energy moving. And you can do these exercises from either posture. So pick your posture and come and join me. Let's begin with getting some oxygen into your body so that you can have that greatest emotional and mental clarity for all of the wonderful presentations that await you in this day. Let's begin with a inhale to the skies. Exhale and imagine all the tension, fatigue, and tension leaving your body and moving towards the earth. Beautiful. Inhale to the skies. Exhale and imagine all that tension leaving your body like a waterfall washing it through. Inhale last time to the skies. And exhale, imagining those boulders in your shoulders, any tightness, any pain, moving down and out the body. And begin just shaking. We want to just take some time to allow that tension to leave our body through this gentle shaking. And as you move through your experiences in this conference today, come back to these gentle resets to help you to not only release the physical strain and tension that sometimes can happen when we are in Zooms all day long, but also to release any emotions that may become activated as you listen to presentations. You can just imagine whatever feeling it is that you need to release, flowing down from your shoulders, down to your wrists, and out your fingertips. So you can use this very simple movement mindfully to help reset yourself. Alrighty, now we're going to work with our shoulders and getting that blood flowing into the arteries and into the brain. So how are we going to do this? We're going to crisscross the hands and just begin tapping the shoulders. One hand after another. Find your own rhythm and pattern. Good. You can just go ahead and fling the arm down if you like, or you can just stay here tapping. So you choose where you want to be. The more you move your body and add a little twist in, the more you're going to get that blood flowing and circulating. And it's so important that we open up those pathways, the muscles, the circulation in the shoulders in order to get that blood into the brain so that we don't feel that brain fogginess that can set in after hours of Zooming. So this simple reset right here, if you do this often, as you're watching the presentations, it's going to stop that Zoom brain fatigue that tends to come in. We all know what that feels like. We've all been on Zoom way too much this year, but there are remedies to making sure that we can Zoom in a way where we don't get tired. Good. Keep that going. Breathe deeply. Add that little bit of a twist to your body. Get that energy going. Beautiful. Then from here, tap and brush out. This is actually the reset for releasing sadness, disappointment, or grief. So we want to get those emotions flowing and out of the body, making space for the energy of perseverance, for the energy of strength. Just brush it on out. And as we listen to presentations, sometimes we may feel this very deep sense of sadness and grief activated. Sometimes that's more generational than to our individual stories. So we can take time whenever things are coming up on that level and brush it out, consciously release it from your body. Beautiful. And also all this tapping near our chest is getting the blood flowing and circulating throughout the heart. We want that this morning. Beautiful. Few more. Now we're going to begin wrapping the waist. So just letting the arms go. You might remember, if you have ever watched children, that little ones tend to wrap their arms around their waist. And we often, as adults, will say, be still, stop doing that. But actually, it's a way of self-soothing and releasing any tension from the middle part of your body. And in the middle part of your body, you have organs like your liver, your gallbladder, stomach, and pancreas. So we have found in Chinese energy medicine that when we do these gentle releases through the waist, it just helps to not only relax that area, but increase the circulation to all those internal organs so that they function better. A lot of my clients who have diabetes or liver conditions have really found the benefit from just taking this very simple waist wrapping practice into their lives every day to increase the function and circulation to their internal organs. And also, again, when you're feeling stressed, this gives your mind something to focus on. So getting into this groove of breathing and relaxing through the middle part of your body. We spend our days hunched over computers and really tense and tight that we don't even realize till we start to do these types of releases, how tight we are, how much tension we're covering. So let's get that energy of relaxation and circulation going through our body so that everything that you do in this day becomes optimized, becomes deeper, becomes more beneficial. Beautiful. Shake that out. Got this windy day here. And let those fingers really release out any feelings, any tension. Get that circulation going. And now we're going to work on just imagining holding a little ball of energy in your hands. You're going to inhale, increasing your sense of courage and perseverance. You're going to exhale, consciously releasing any fears. Inhaling your perseverance. Exhaling any fears. Inhaling the sense of strength and grounding. Exhaling any fears. Inhaling strength. Exhaling fears. Inhaling invigoration. Exhaling fatigue. Inhaling vibrancy. Exhaling weariness. Let your palms drop to the earth as if pressing a weight to the earth herself. And shake it out again. Now let's begin to inhale back up to the skies. Exhale, release and drop. Inhale back up to the skies. And then release and drop. Inhale back up to the skies. And release any tension and drop. Beautiful. The last thing we're going to do is get the joy machine going. The joy machine is our heart, right? Our source of passion, our source of enjoyment through life comes through our heart energies, it's said in energy medicine. So we're going to begin just gentle circles over the earth, or rather over the heart. And as you begin, you imagine that this beautiful flame of energy is flowing through the heart, activating your passion and your ability to connect deeply and socially with every single person here at the conference, whether it is through the virtual or whether it is through other means, through the replay, through the live. You are connecting deeply with the rhythm, with the power, with the strength and the perseverance that each and every single one of us carries, that flows through the ancestors, through the generations to this very moment. Change directions And as that energy continues to flow forward, it begins to heal, to calm, to soothe our hearts and connect us to a memory of something that brought us absolute joy. Get that memory firm and full in your mind, because you are about to create some new memories through your experiences through today's workshops and presentations. Stop and feel the stillness. Let the hands and the palms face the earth. Let the energy slowly drop into your lower belly, crisscrossing your hands over the lower belly. Breathe in deeply and feel prepared and ready for your next moment. Relax.
I'm just going to jump right in, Elliot, and tell you, you know, the movement of the body is so important in order to shift us, you know, sometimes from a place of sadness, just to lift us. And so I am so grateful. Many times I've watched Kay on my phone and just looked at her, and it gave me energy just to see the movements. But I encourage you, all of you who didn't give it a try, when Kay comes back, to move your body and watch something happen. Thank you so much, Kay, for being here. How timely.
As a person who's living with a dual diagnosis of mental illnesses, that movement is critical to my ability to operate just on a basic level, and especially to be happy with myself and the life around me. Great words, Kimberly.
Thank you so much for being honest and open and transparent about that. And, you know, it doesn't look so cool, but again, I really encourage each of you just to give it a try. All right, now before we jump into the conference, we want to give y'all a quick orientation of Hoover. Say it with me, Hoover. Yeah, it works just like that. So I'm not the most tech savvy person, but I picked up on Hoover pretty easily after some huge resistance.
If I can tell you that using Hoover is easy, simple, fun, and fast to pick up, believe me. I am not tech savvy. I come from a place and time that computers were on television and in imagination. But this has made it so real for me. Get busy, y'all.
All right.
I'm not sure about you, but the Hoover at first was very difficult. I was trying to figure out how to maneuver, but all of a sudden I was able to just get on, and it was so easy. And then I was able to help others.
For me, I couldn't even say the word Hoover. But once I could say the word and I got on and I was able to say the word, I was able to use it, and it was so easy. So get on now, use it. You will love it.
For me, I did not want to use it because it was something new, and quite naturally, just to know that it was new, I was hesitant. However, when I was forced to use it to participate in this conference, I found it very easy. I enjoyed using it. I enjoyed participating in the conference. So it really is an easy tool. So I want to encourage you to participate and get on Hoover.
Thank you so much, Emmett Hayes, Minister Sonia Hosey, Miss Deborah Price, and Melanie Diggs. You see, it's really easy. Just give it a try. Remember, you can download the Hoover app on your mobile device for convenience. If you send text messages or you make a call from your phone, it's just that simple to use Hoover. Don't be overwhelmed by technology. I promise you, you got this. If you're using a computer, the main navigation on the main left side of your homepage screen is where you'll find everything. We encourage you to browse around there and see what you discover. Go to Agenda to see each day's program and join any session you would like. Select the date and scroll through the day's agenda. Click on View Session to simply join that session. Yep, it's that easy. In Community, you'll find social groups and conversations you may want to join.
Click on attendees in the main navigation menu, and you can check out who else is here. You can message folks or network here. You'll also see sponsors and exhibitors. This conference would not be possible without those generous sponsors. And the exhibitors have all kinds of helpful information about resources you may not realize are offered in our community.
We have some gift cards to give away, and I know we all love a giveaway. You can be entered into a raffle for one of those gift cards by entering the passport contest. You can enter the passport contest when you visit exhibitors. At each exhibitor, to be very clear, there are 3 things that you must do to be entered into the raffle. Number 1, be sure to claim any deals or offerings. Number 2, you also need to like the booth. And number 3, post a comment or a chat to collect the stamp. It's just that simple. The people with the most stamps at the end of the conference will be entered into a raffle to win a gift card. Now, I asked, what are the prizes, right? So let me give those to you. We have a 30-minute photo shoot, HEB gift card, and we also have Amazon and a travel voucher. To fully enjoy this contest, simply download the Hoover app on your phone or tablet and click on the leaderboard to keep track of how many stamps you have. On the web app, click Win a Prize to see how many stamps you have. Now, this became really competitive last time, but a whole lot of fun. Join us.
Also have a photo contest. Now, I know if you're like me, you like to get creative and cute, right? So get snapping and upload those pictures. The most liked photo wins a prize. On the Hoover app, on your phone or tablet, you'll see photos under additional resources. On the web app, it will be on the main navigation on your left. You can also earn points and be entered to win a prize by taking surveys, polls, and giving session feedback. Click on the leaderboard to track how many points you have. Don't be intimidated, because there's always time to ask for help if you need it. In the main navigation menu under resources, you will see an FAQ as well as Hoover guides. Scrolling through both of those will likely answer any questions you have. If you need more help or technical support, go to the conference website, CTAAFSC.com, and click on the chat box. A staff member is ready and waiting to help. Lastly, take a minute to visit the conference shop on the conference website, CTAAFSC.com. Go ahead and get yourself or someone you love a t-shirt, beanie, hoodie, or any other goodies we have in the conference shop.
Most importantly, remember that this conference is all about taking care of yourself. If you're feeling overwhelmed or need extra support, visit the conference suite. If you're on your computer, go to the main navigation. The conference suite is located under the community tab. Click on join to enter the conference suite. Remember, on the mobile app, community is at the bottom of your screen. Warm volunteers are in the conference suite to visit with you privately. They will support you without judgment. You'll be able to find calming mindfulness exercises there, led by the one and only Kay Hutchison.
We all need help and support, and so never fear reaching out for it, because whew, that was a lot of information. Are you ready to get this conference started? I know I am. And it's time to go to the agenda tab in the main navigation menu and choose your first session. If for some reason you get bumped out of a session, just return to the main menu navigation and click on agenda. Find your session, click view session, and you'll be back in. If you are a professional seeking CEUs, look for your links in the session chat. Make sure to sign it and submit. We will email you your certificate. Hoover tracks your presence, so make sure you attend the whole session.
Also remember to complete all surveys for a chance to win a $25 gift card. Feel free to hang out here until 9:55 with the amazing DJ Hella Yella of KZI. Music is my medicine, and so we're so blessed to have DJ Hella Yella here with us today. Now, as you know, he is taking requests, so go ahead and type your favorite songs, the songs that get you moving, in the chat box so he can be sure to play that. Now, as I've been walking this week, I want you to know the song that I hear in my head and the one I want you to hear every time I walk into the room. She's a brick house. Woo! She's mighty, just letting it all hang out. But that's my song. But go ahead and put yours in the chat box.
And so we are going to take that amazing energy Kimberly blessed us with, and we'll see you back here during our lunch. Give out awards, getting our groove on, and all kinds of fun stuff. Take care.
All right, we'll see you then.